If you don't like Jason Aldean's song, don't listen to it, says the same people who won't shut up about Barbie being man-hating feminist trash. God, the double standard here would be hilarious if it wasn't so damn sad, because these people honestly don't get it. I couldn't even get through the music video. New age country music makes my ears want to bleed anyway, but because unlike Jason Aldean, I am actually from a small town and currently live in a small town, I can't go anywhere without having to hear the shit. God, give me rock music any day. And because all the good old boys and girls living in the area are now empowered by this song that makes them feel like they're outlaw justices, it plays all the damn time. I made it to the 1 minute 35-second mark on his video and just had a mixture of laughing at how ridiculous the video was, first of all, but also felt like I wanted to puke because of the message behind it. You know, conservative cancel culture has been logging into Rotten Tomatoes and trying to tank the Barbie movie audience score and leaving comments about what liberal propaganda that movie is because it has a message in it. But if you get on the good old Joe Rogan Experience, he's just so shocked because the liberal mindset is exposed by the response to this song and music video. So, I guess conservatives can put heavily messaged content out there, but liberals can't?
You're out of your mind. Ain't it cool?
Fuck me, I'm confused. Now, before you get up on your high horse and hit me with the same parroting bullshit about left-leaning, right-leaning, whatever, let me tell you, I don't lean anyway. I don't believe in extremism. There is no one right way and one wrong way. Conservatives aren't 100% right all the time, and neither are liberals. Grains of truth can be found in each side's arguments, and that's what their followers latch onto and identify with. Whatever grain of truth or mistruth they find that validates how they feel. It's how we ended up in such a divided nation in what should be our most progressive era. People can no longer just live and let live. And because of that, we have the need to have people protesting about their living conditions and how they are treated by society. You get this horse hockey from a wannabe country music star. And I say wannabe because in that 95 seconds of ear-piercing nonsense, I didn't see a single thing that would qualify as actual country music. But it's not about race, Jason Aldean cries. Yeah, I noticed that he carefully crafted his lyrics to be generic bad things that everybody should be on board with. Don't carjack an old lady. Don't spit in somebody's face. These are things we recognize as universally bad. But he paired it up with a video that looped carefully chosen video clips to get his real point across. A man of color robbing a store. Protests that stem from the mistreatment and abuse of minorities. And it's all set at a courthouse where a black teenage man was lynched in 1927. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't really get behind a guy that makes a conscious decision to hang an American flag where a teenager was once dragged by a white mob and strung up. I just don't find that patriotic. Christ, Jason, why didn't you just hang the stars and bars up there? And Jason Aldean's tweets are all like, this isn't a pro-lynching song, I'm being wrongfully accused, this has gone too far. Yes, Jason, it has gone too far. A song like this should never have been greenlit. What the fuck were the people behind this thinking? I can only guess that they piggybacked onto Disney's negative marketing campaign and discovered that labeling something as racist garners a lot of support and attention depending on what side of the line the content is on. And let's consider the unrealistic possibility that Jason is not putting out racist bullshit, because, no, he's not as forthcoming as David Allan Coe was in his day. Let's pretend that he didn't carefully word his song to not actually include outright racist statements, and let's also pretend he didn't select specific news clips to get his point across. Let's talk about the other problem with this garbage. 1. Jason Aldean ain't from no small town. He's from Macon, Georgia, with a population of over 150,000 people, a place known as the birthplace for Southern rock and being the childhood homes of the Allman Brothers and Otis Redding. If you say Macon, Georgia to a good portion of the people in the US, they're going to know where you're talking about. A real small town is one like where I'm from, a place with a name that is mispronounced by everybody who is not from here because, well, we decided to add a few extra letters in the pronunciation that doesn't show up in the spelling. A place where a lot of poor people live. A place where there is a Baptist church every 5 fucking feet because none of the damn Baptists get along, and when they get in fights, they divide and start a new church like cells going through mitosis. The only thing that outnumbers churches here is the number of house trailers and people who think wearing Wrangler jeans and watching Yellowstone makes them the cowboy outlaw types. There is beauty in living in a small town if you want to be left alone and live out in nature like I do. The drawbacks are that gunshots and tannerite explosions are part of every hour of every fucking day because, god damn it, we have Second Amendment rights and we're going to use them. The drawbacks are that the high school never gets the funding it needs for actual academics, but instead invests in putting in yet another gym. Because, gotta get them boys trained up for manual labor. And that's not me being against any type of manual labor jobs. That's legitimately what half the teachers will say when asked why there are so many gyms at the high school. And oh, that kid who's struggling in class, well, he's just going to go work at the mill anyway, so why waste time trying to help him learn basic math or science? The drawbacks include seeing that handful of minorities looking real uncomfortable when white people use them as deflection for their mild racism. Hey, I know them. I like them. I can't possibly be a racist because I sort of know these 2 to 5 people and I think they're swell. The drawbacks include seeing anyone in the LGBTQ plus community quietly hide in their proverbial closet, counting down the days until they turn 18 and can get away from people who might actually cause them physical harm. And if they were somehow discovered, the drawbacks include watching a teenager be kicked out of their parents' house because those good Christians would rather see their child be homeless, disowned, and unloved than to accept they may love differently. Don't romanticize what being in a small town is like, Jason. And this is why I'm so pissed about this song. This song glorifies the good old boy culture of a small town in the Bible Belt. Let me tell you, living with that culture my entire life, it's scary as fuck. These are the type of people who think nothing bad can happen in a small town because they're living with that good guy with a gun mindset. Uvalde was a small town. Parkland was considered the safest place in Florida to live. Hell, Las Vegas ain't a small town, but Jason Aldean was there when a gunman opened fire at his concert and killed 59 people. The fuck did he do to stop it? Not a goddamn thing. So just sit your ass down and shut the fuck up, Jason, because when push comes to shove, you wouldn't do nothing if a real threat came to your little made-up small town. And neither would any of the rest of these good old boys and girls all over social media praising this song. They talk a big game, but it just makes it clear to me they've never been in the type of situations described in this song. But whatever, as long as they get to puff out their chests and feel validated in their worldviews. If Jason Aldean and those people who support this song really wanted to make some sort of impact, if they really wanted to see a change in societal behavior, no more protests where people spit in a cop's face, they would recognize that not everybody in this world have their quality of life. They would have a little bit of compassion or empathy for what other people may be going through. How terrifying do you think it would be for somebody to get in your face and tell you that you are damned to burn in hell for all eternity because of who you love or because of a decision you made? How bad would you feel if you couldn't even walk past somebody without them clutching their purse or looking away because your very presence scares them based on what they were taught by people long dead who lived in a much different time? How frustrated would you be if you walked into the store looking for a product that matched your skin tone but couldn't find one, while other skin tones may have 50 shades of nude? How do you think you would feel if you were trying to speak calmly to a police officer and he shot you anyway? Supporting protesters doesn't mean you're apologizing for your entire existence. It means you recognize that other people don't have the same little luxuries in life that you do. Recognizing privilege in your own life doesn't devalue all of your hard work. It simply means that you won't be crucified for perfectly normal things such as loving someone, or that you don't have to be scared that physical harm will come to you because someone made an assumption about you based on your appearance. Having racial or gender advantages in this world doesn't imply that your life is without hardship. It simply means that you might be exposed to opportunities that other people don't get because of their race or gender. But Jason Aldean and his supporters don't want to make any type of impact. Jason Aldean wants to make money, and you can bet the controversy of this song is going to rake it in for him. His supporters can talk about a society where people don't rob stores and old ladies don't get carjacked. They can listen to this song and think they are the true embodiment of all that is good in this world. And nothing anybody says is going to change their minds. But instead of bucking up and saying some bullshit like, try that in a small town, I'd like to see people in a small town try something. I'd like to see them walking 2 moons in another's moccasins before they pass judgment about people protesting their living conditions. I'd like to see people in small towns have some compassion and empathy for people who look, act, or think differently than them. I'd like to see people in a small town recognize there is a whole big world outside of the city limits of their small town, and it's a lot different than what they're accustomed to, and that is okay. More than anything, I'd like to see the Southern Baptists in my small town actually act like the good Christians they think they are. I'd like to see them love unconditionally the way God does. I'd like to see them treat people the way Jesus treated them. I'd like to see them carry themselves as though they have the Holy Spirit flowing through them instead of passing judgment every chance they got. But, just like I'm not likely to see them acting on any of the shit Jason Aldean talks about in his song, they're not likely to do any of that. But hey, that's just my opinion, formed from a lifetime of experience in a small town. You think what you like.